Hey, the Browns are in prime time tomorrow night, but it's prime time right now because the Rizzo Show starts right now.
MGM Northfield Park presents The Rizzo Show. And now, your host, Tony Rizzo.
Some felt on this.
Tony, what do you think? Should we be dealing cards right now? What do you think?
Green felt.
Look at that. Look at our Rizzo Show set. Is that beautiful or what? Welcome, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Rizzo Show. Tony Grossi from ESPN Cleveland is here with me. Tone, Browns looking for their second win in a row. Before we get started, what a big win last week against Baltimore.
Well, it was the biggest win in the history of the Browns versus Ravens rivalry. And it was important because it put them in first place and pretty much righted the ship.
Sure. And Baker Mayfield was at the helm. Tony, I thought the offense fit him a lot better last week. Tell everybody, the Browns made adjustments on offense, and they got back to doing stuff they did last year successfully.
It did look a lot like last year, right? He wasn't exclusively in the shotgun formation. They used the jumbo package for short yardage runs to Nick Chubb. They used extra tight ends frequently to help the offensive line. And as a result, Baker had more confidence in the protection and released the ball a lot quicker, too. Was more decisive with it. But ultimately, when Nick Chubb is running like that, that stands the test of time no matter what kind of football you're playing.
Tony, I also like that they stuck with Nick Chubb. You know, he only had 30-some yards on the first 11 carries, but sure enough, he broke one late.
He made them submit, basically, and it was actually Earl Thomas, the great safety, who quit on that long run. And it was so devastating and demoralizing to the Ravens, and their fans fled the building after that run. And the image of Earl Thomas just quitting on the play will stay with the team for a while. Well,
Tony, you asked Baker if the Browns' ship has been righted. Here's what he had to say.
In the sense of, I think offensively we kind of found our identity. But we're definitely not, satisfied. I wouldn't say that we're right where we want to be. We have to continue to get better, and that's, I think, the best part about this team is it continues to focus on the next opportunity to get better.
Speaking of that, how much better can Baker get?
Well, he's still only, 17 games into his NFL career, 17 starts. So I think it could get a lot better. They're getting some players back, Antonio Callaway, perhaps Rashard Higgins. And I think he'll be at his best when he could distribute the ball to 5 or 6 or even 7 different people.
Because we thought early on in the season he was kind of forcing it a little bit to Odell Beckham Jr. Now, OBJ only had 2 catches last week, Tone. How do they get him the ball a little bit more? But even though he had 2 catches, Odell Beckham Jr. affects the game. I want to show you here a couple of plays in which he did just that. Number 1, this is a play where the safety comes up to double him, and Seals Jones is open. That was a big third down play. Got the Browns a big gain and a first down. Odell didn't get the catch, but he affected the play.
And I think he shares in the joy of a play like that. He really does. It's an unfair rap on him that he wants every ball. As long as they're winning, and this contributes to winning, I think he'll be very happy to be with this team. And when his best friend, Jarvis Landry, has a career game, that was a career game for Jarvis Landry, yardage-wise. Beckham loves that too, and he affects Landry by
Tony,
taking up all that attention.
are you allowed to choke people in the NFL?
Well, the Ravens will tell you that was not a choke.
What?
That was. I don't know what film you're watching, Riz, but that is not a choke.
What do you mean? He's got his hands around his throat. Tony, why does it seem to me like they're unfairly, grabbing and holding OBJ, and it's not getting called all the time?
Well, I think the Ravens made a concerted effort to be physical with him. They were effective in what they wanted to do, but it's up to the quarterback, in this case, Baker Mayfield, to make them pay for something like that.
Yep.
And he did. And that will affect how teams treat Odell going forward.
If this continues, do you see him get a little more frustrated? I mean, he can't have 2 catches a game, Tone. He's one of the best receivers in the game. I realized it worked last week, 40-burger on Baltimore in their building, but that can't be every week.
I think he knows now, 6 years into it, he's going to have games like the Jets game where he was the star of the show.
Right.
He knows those are coming, but he knows also this is a loaded team when healthy. We're not used to this. They have plenty of playmakers.
Yeah, we've got more than one weapon, right?
And I really think the W is more important to him than receptions and yards.
All right, speaking of receivers, the Browns welcome back Antonio Callaway this week. Tone, what do you expect him to be? He had a 4-game suspension. He was injured 4 weeks before that. Hadn't been on the field in 8 weeks. I think Jarvis Landry's going to play, even though he suffered a concussion. But what can I expect from Callaway?
Well, I don't think he'll be the star of the game. I don't think he'll be overused, but I think he'll ease his way in, maybe be the kickoff returner, maybe the punt returner. And, you know, he's well rested, right? His high ankle sprain is healed. He was able, unlike Kareem Hunt, he was able to rehab his injury, his high ankle sprain, during his suspension. So they know that he's, where he's at physically. But he hasn't been practicing for 8 weeks. So I wouldn't expect him to play a large part in the offense, but he'll make his presence known out there.
Well, folks, the Browns defense will face Tony Grossi's first love at quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. He has 4 interceptions through 3 games. Tone, you still think Jimmy G is going to be a franchise guy? You wanted the Browns to get him so badly from New England.
I did. 2 of the interceptions were off his pedestrian receiver's hands.
Here we go. I knew that was coming.
Come on now.
I knew that was coming.
No, I really think the only question anybody has about Jimmy Garoppolo is durability. He's 28 years old, been in the league, 5 years. He's played fewer games than Baker Mayfield. But he's 11-2. He's a winner.
Wow.
He's a winner.
11-2.
He has something that coaches cannot teach, and it's a quick release that is a key to his success.
Would you rather have him or Baker?
I'd rather have Baker because of his durability.
Was it love for you?
No, Baker's perfect for this team. We all know that.
Right. I would take Baker.
Jimmy belongs in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's his shtick out there. Tone, what is it going to take to get the W tomorrow night? Are you worried the Browns, coming off of divisional, emotional game on the road, they're waiting an extra day for Monday Night Football? They're kind of used to the primetime by now, though.
Yeah, but that's a good point you make, Riz. There could be an emotional letdown. That was a huge win. We talked about it, the franchise record against the rivalry. And they are going cross-country, and it is a Monday night game, and the 49ers are rested. They were on their bye week. So it is a challenge, but this team can get stronger and stronger by overcoming these challenges.
Tone, you feel like the Browns are the better team, don't you?
On paper, no question. The 49ers have excellent defensive line, excellent quarterback, but the Browns at all these other position groups are better on paper.
All right, so what is our Merriman legal play of the day? You know who it is, Tone, the Scottish Hammer, baby. The rookie punter was named AFC Special Teams Player of the Month. Tony, it was a risk for the Browns to go with this kid. So far, it's paid off.
It is huge payoff. I mean, they've played some very good special teams, and they've played the very good ones to a draw. I think there's a time coming where the special teams will win a game with a big play, a momentum play on special teams. This kid, not only, we were all worried about his holds,
right?
A small part of the job,
right?
But he's been perfect on those. The kicker has been he's been perfect since he missed the PAT in his first kick.
I'll knock.
They're kind of a team, the holder and the kicker. And punting-wise, nobody returns punts on this team because of him.
Make Tom's team your team, the Merriman legal play of the day. It's the Browns and Niners tomorrow night in San Francisco. Coming up, we're going to spin the wheel. Also, I've got a special in-studio guest. Don't go anywhere. The Rizzo Show rolls on after this. Hey there. Welcome back to the Rizzo Show. All right, T, you ready to go? It's time. We're back at the big board, and it's time to spin the wheel, baby. Let's go. What do we got here? Oh, Andre Knott. Did somebody say Andre Knott? He's the newest member of Fox 8. Oh, look at this! Andre!
What's up? How are you?
Welcome to the Rizzo Show, baby.
Thank you. I came because I heard Grossi was retiring.
Yeah, no.
Breaking.
Tone, do you have anything you want to break with us now?
No breaking news.
Andre, of course, is here. He works on the Indians telecast, and now he's a part of Fox 8. So, Dre, hang out with us. We'll spin the wheel. You ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what the topic is. Spin it up, kids. Let's go. The MGM paying players, guys. This is a big topic, and LeBron is a champion of this. State of California went with it. It's going to go. Jerry, do you think it's going to be nationwide soon?
I don't think it's going to be nationwide soon. I think there's going to be some pushback. I think there's a lot of players, obviously, like LeBron, that love this idea, and I think some of the players deserve it. But nationwide, I don't see everybody agreeing with the people in California.
Tony,
They have
what
to
about-
do something to get these kids compensation. Maybe it'll spur the NCAA to create their own form of paying.
I don't see that happening. They're all fighting it right now, still fighting it. And guys, come on, man. These kids, do you know how many billions of dollars CBS pays for the NCAA tournament? And the kids can't buy a Big Mac? That's just wrong. I think it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I really do. All right, roll it again. Here we go. Roll, baby, roll. Oh, bet on the Bucks. Bet on Buckets.
Yes.
The NBA and William Hill have announced their sports betting partnership. Tony, will you be betting on your beloved Steph Curry and the Warriors?
I don't think I will, but it seems like the NBA is at the forefront of embracing gambling.
And Jay, just for the record, we are not allowed to gamble as members of the media. You work for the Indians, and you are not allowed to gamble. Who are you betting on in the NBA this year?
I'm going to go with the Houston Rockets. I can't stand watching them play, but they put the ball in the hole, and they got Westbrook now, triple doubles everywhere.
Yeah. What about Bron? I still root for LeBron.
I still root for him,
I still
too.
root for
But
Bron.
I look at that roster. Riz, come on. That roster, you think that's a championship roster?
I miss you, Bron.
We all miss you.
I'm not going to lie. I'm excited for the Cavs this year. I am. They got some good young players. We'll have to wait and see. But the sports betting thing isn't going anywhere.
No.
Baseball's been the last one to the table.
It's coming.
Okay.
All I will tell you, it's
There we
coming
go.
on broadcast.
There we go.
Now that I'd bet on.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel. Mattress Mac, dude in Houston, said if the Astros win the World Series, everybody's $3,000 mattresses are free. To double up on the bet, Tony put $3.5 million down on a sports book in Missouri to bet on the Astros to win this World Series to make up for it.
Well, that's a pretty good bet. The Astros, no? I mean,
Are they
with
the
that
favorites?
rotation,
They're the
Andre, are they going to win?
Yes, they're going to win.
They're that good.
I'm going to tell you guys a secret. A former Indians player, when the Houston Astros got Zach Greinke, texted some people in Cleveland and said,
Good night.
I'm getting my first ring.
Wow.
That's all you need to know.
Wow, they're going to be good. I want to see the
does
Yankees,
he play in
though.
the outfield?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I want to see him beat the Yankees, though. We'll see. Yankees got a pretty good lineup, no pitching. All right, next, roll that wheel, baby, roll it. Percy Harvin said he smoked weed before every game. Tony, you don't do that in the press
No,
box,
but
do you?
Josh Gordon had that story 2 years ago, right? This isn't news anymore.
Wait a minute, Josh Gordon said he was drinking
On
before
everything.
games.
He was on everything, right?
There
He
may
was
have
high
been
in
a
every
certain
game.
quarterback that was here that was drinking.
This would explain, of course, why Harvin lasted about 3 or 4 years in the league with tremendous talent.
Well, Grossy, do you remember he always had headaches? Remember that was
Migraines,
The
yeah.
migraines. They would always say he had migraines and he couldn't play, and you're always like, you got migraine every week, and now, well,
He was hitting hookah.
Yeah, all right. He's getting it right.
I mean, whatever. All right, one more, another one. How many more do we have, Kate? One more? Two more? Bear Bill, the Patriots. Julian Edelman said during his rookie season, he walked in on head coach Bill Belichick, and Belichick got out of the hot tub naked. He said it's something he just can't get out of his mind.
Well, mine now, too. It's impossible to unsee that image.
Well, baseball's been over for a week for me, and this reminds me of the guy that we cover, because he has no problem closing the door either. The door's always open, Tony. So imagine every time you go to talk to the manager.
Sometimes, wait a minute, are you telling me sometimes Terry's getting out of the shower? Dre?
Yeah, we've seen parts. Yes, I've seen Terry get out of the shower. It must be that area. They must do it in Boston.
TMI, folks, TMI. Covering the team's one thing, but come on, that's crazy. All right, one more? One more? Oh, that's it. Now they tell me. All right, coming up, we're going to have Dre talk a little tribe. We've got a couple of big decisions to make, Andre, in the offseason. We'll do that when we come back. Stay with us. Hey now, welcome back to the Rizzo Show. Andre not here with me. Dre, time to talk a little tribe.
All right.
Jay, what did you make of the Indians season? They won 93 games and didn't go to the playoffs.
Riz, you've been around 93 games. You win 93 games, you're going to have a fun season. They overachieved. It was really a 500 ball club. Kudos to Terry Francona and his staff for being able to keep those guys together. And they did something that we say we always can't do. They rebuilt a little bit and tried to win. The youth that we saw this year is what gets me.
Bieber, Mercado, you future looks pretty bright.
Check,
right?
And you saw Clevenger become a real stud.
Right.
There's some guys that they can build upon.
Who was your MVP this year?
Oh, man, it's got to be. I'm going to go with. That's a good.
Carlos?
I'm going to go.
Bieber?
Santana. You know what? You're right. Carlos Santana.
He was so steady.
Yeah, he was steady. And, it reminded me so much of that 97 year that Sandy Alomar had.
Yep.
It was magical, man. He had walk-offs every month, and he became a leader in the clubhouse. And Jake Arrieta, whatever you said.
Dre, the Indians exercised the $17.5 million on Corey Kluber, but what are their plans for him?
It's a great question. You seem surprised by that. I listened to your radio show.
I was.
I think because they know how hard he worked, and there is a belief in the Indians organization that this year off will help him because of how hard they ran him for 5 years in a row.
Right.
Now, the next question is, because I was listening, I don't think you can move him right away. That's just me personally. I don't think a team's going to say, hey, give me $17 million, and a guy that pitched 3 games.
He's got to prove he's healthy.
Bingo.
So middle of the year, we'll see how things are going.
Very possible.
Dre, it's unbelievable because I don't want to say they don't need him in the rotation, but they have a phenomenal rotation.
They do, and that's why I think they have a chance to bounce right back. Because when you think about it, wherever you put Kluber, whatever you do with Carrasco, I think Plesac could be great in the bullpen. You put Karinchak in the bullpen, and suddenly that was a weakness to me, and they somehow hid that all year long. You got one of the best pitching staffs in baseball right now without making one move. So I like that.
All right, they didn't exercise the option on Jason Kipnis, one of my favorite players. Jose Ramirez, now, is he going to play second base? That's a hot rumor.
I know that he wants to. If it was up to him, he would play second base, and he would be an all-star at second base. Look, Jose went a year and a half with his hand hurting. And all you guys, my friends, your friends, were all killing me when he started slow and he ended slow. And I kept saying, I think his hand's bothering him.
Right.
He finally got it fixed. I think if you're Jose Ramirez, what you care about most is that hand isn't barking right now. So he'll play anywhere they ask him to.
Interesting. And as always, Dre, the Indians, the clock is ticking on Francisco Lindor. Folks, I hate to be the one to. Some of you already know. Frankie's probably not going to be here much longer. But Dre,
it's the elephant in the room.
Yeah. So he's got 2 years left. Yeah. But if you wait till the last year to trade him, you're not going to get as much. Right. Is there any way they would move him? Not before the season starts, but in the middle of next year, trade deadline?
To do their jobs in the words that they would use, to do their due diligence, they have to find out what's out there. And I know you don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it either. But I'll say this. Frankie has always said that he wants to be here. He wants to get paid what his worth is. And I think because of what we talked about to begin this, because of the strength of the pitching, it shouldn't cost that much. And you talked about Kipnis and not keeping him. Telling me you can't go out and get an outfielder, a professional hitter as an outfielder, and say, Frankie, we're going to give you your best chance to win one here before we give it up. Because that's a generational player. You can make all the trades you want. Nobody like that.
So you're seeing give him next year for
Give
sure.
him one more year.
One more year.
He wants one more year. He has told me, give me one more year. Give us a credible lineup.
He wants to win here.
He does.
Where is he going? And don't say the Yankees.
I'm not. Well, I haven't said this on air, but I guess I'll do it first time with Riz. He hates New York.
Yes.
He hates New York.
I love him.
But his favorite person in baseball manages the Boston Red Sox.
Oh,
Keep that in your back pocket.
Really?
Him and Cora are like father and son.
Wow. I did not know
They got the
that.
Puerto Rican thing, and they just he was also, Cora was the general manager for the Puerto Rico team when they were playing that World Baseball Classic.
Sure, and they kind of bonded. They bonded. Yeah, just like the NBA.
The NBA, yeah.
Same thing. All right, what do you think for the Indians next year? Positive, right?
It's positive.
Yeah.
You still have one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. You have one of the best managers in baseball. Do they still need to work on some things? Yes, and I'm afraid of the Chicago White Sox between you and I.
Really? Even though, and by the way, they owned us this year.
They owned us, and they got some glue, and they got some young players that can play.
All right, it'll be an interesting winter. When we come back, we'll wrap things up and get a prediction for tomorrow night. Don't go anywhere. I know you're. Oh, yeah, don't go anywhere, folks. Stay tuned, because you know who's coming up next. Our good friends, Big Chuck and Lil Jon. And Lil Jon. They usually throw the sounder in there coming up next. All right, guys, big game tomorrow night in San Francisco. Tony, what are the keys to this game for the Browns? And if they don't win this game, is the sky going to fall again like it does every week?
No, the sunshine will come out on Tuesday. It's an NFC game. I mean, you're not going to win them all. If you could pick your losses, you'd pick an NFC game. They come back home against another one against Seattle. But I think the key is don't lose sight. If you found your identity now, stay with it. That's Nick Chubb, multiple tight ends, and a little trickeration every now and then.
Dre, where are you at with the Browns?
I like what he just said. Chubb. But I am concerned. They have a defensive line in San Francisco. I think it's 5 first-round picks.
And I think one of those Bosa boys.
Yeah, they got a Bosa boy, and they got all kinds. And if there's a weakness with the Browns, I'm still iffy on the offensive line. I think it's going to be a close game, and it's going to come down to that rookie kicker.
Tone, you got two good offensive coaches too, right?
Yeah.
Shanahan
Excellent.
and Freddie.
It should be good viewing for everybody at home.
Yeah, it's on ESPN, and it should be fun. Although Sunday Night Football's kind of become bigger than Monday Night Football. But remember, folks, we don't watch Sunday Night Football because we're busy watching the Rizzo Show at 11 o'clock. All right, prediction for the game.
I think it's going to be tough. I'm going to pick the Browns to win by a point, 24-23.
1 point.
Ooh, I'm going 17-14. I'm telling you, it's
low
going to be
scoring.
low. I think these two great offensive minds, but the defenses are going to push them around a little bit.
I think the Browns win this game. I'm not giving a score because I don't care how much they win. Even though it was really nice to see the blowout in Baltimore, right? Andre, thank you for being here,
Thank
bud.
you.
Pleasure.
Appreciate
Welcome
it.
to Fox 8, by the way, too. Anthony, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And
Always a pleasure being
we'll
here.
talk to you tomorrow night. And don't forget TLOD, the landondemand.com, Tony Grossi's new home for ESPN Cleveland. Thanks for being here. Good to be alive. Good night, everybody.